You're listening to The Echoes with me, Emily Andrew, the self-development podcast that explores personal stories, powerful tools, and an insight into the wide world of mental, physical, and spiritual health. Get ready to get curious, be inspired, and connect in. Hello, and welcome back to The Echoes. I took a break. I really took a break, and I didn't really plan for it to be as long as it was. But 2024 kicked off, and I feel in so many ways like I am chasing my tail. The thing that's really getting me motivated to record this episode and get past the how am I going to do this? What am I going to start back with on my own? Is some of the conversations that I have had with some incredible people that I'm really, really excited to share. And yeah, there is a lot coming up. And I think for me at this point in my kind of work life, in my life, there is just so much going on. And it's really interesting to notice where we give ourselves credit and where we don't. So I have been studying for a while now in becoming a cognitive behavioral hypnotherapist. Being a hypnotherapist is something that I've actually wanted for a really, really long time. And after I trained in EFT, I didn't really feel in some ways like I needed anything else because I felt like the work that I was able to do with EFT and the way that I just am so passionate about EFT kind of felt like I didn't need anything else. But the reality is, it doesn't matter whether you're a counselor, a psychotherapist, a coach, you should always be continuing to build your skill set and helping to kind of grow that. And I knew that although EFT was so beneficial, I needed to make sure that I could really authentically show up and actually call myself a therapist, because that's something that I don't do because I haven't got there. I'm also really excited to integrate hypnotherapy and EFT in my sessions. I find that EFT is such a powerful transformative tool, but in its essence, clinical EFT or gold standard EFT was never meant to kind of tap in positivity. It's all about kind of clearing and then just allowing the balance of, when we have less of the crap that's holding us back, we will generally become more balanced and more positive anyway. There's no need to tap in to the positive. But I think for so many people, there is so much stuff in our bag that we are kind of carrying around with us that sometimes just imbuing that little bit of positivity, whether it be through a guided meditation or a relaxation or a hypnotherapy script, I think that could be such a powerful thing. And that's how I see it really fitting into where I work. Obviously, hypnotherapy is extremely effective for many things like IBS and anxiety and kind of fears and phobias and many things kind of interlace, I guess, or overlap, maybe is the better word, between what you can use it for. But I'm just really excited. I've been really enjoying this kind of little learning journey I've been on. I'm definitely living more in my head than in my body. I have not been tapping enough. I can say that very honestly. I have definitely been getting a little bit angry, struggling with a 2-year-old. But I acknowledge it all, and I think it's really important just to be really honest because we can't do it all. I think anyone that tells you that you can have it all and do it all they must have unlocked some magical secret, because I think we learn in the struggle. And although I don't think struggle is necessary for growth, I think often it becomes part of the process. Because, you know, even if you think about, I heard a quote the other day, and I'm going to butcher it now, but it said, like, even the plant, even the seed needs tension to grow. Um, if the soil was too soft, then it doesn't give the roots anything to kind of hold off on, or it doesn't give enough like oxygen and water retention and all. Like, there needs to be a certain level of tension in order for growth. And I think that that's quite true in life as well. So I still am here, not really knowing what this first episode back is going to be about. So I guess it would just be a catch up. Um, I When I first started this podcast, I had such a really strong like calling for it. Like, I knew I had to do this again. But I think after the first series, I took a step back and thought, what what am I doing this for? Um, and near the end, I slowed down a bit, because I realized that I had got into the habit of just creating for creating's sake. And actually, that's not how I work. I always really honor, or try to honor, my energy. And being a projector, I do not have consistent energy. And it is frustrating as hell, because I want to work like all the generators and manifesting generators out there, but I can't. I have really inconsistent energy, and I have to honor that. And actually, if I can just accept and honor that, then I can plan. And that's what I've been doing. Well, that's why it's taken me months in between, because essentially, to be able to have these wonderful conversations, it has to be from a good place. It has to be from a place of enjoyment and joy, and, seeking and nurturing. There needs to be a certain level of like space. And if it's impossible, if you feel like you have no space, it's really hard to be able to create. I've been doing the artist's way, struggling through the artist's way. I think it was not the right time in my life to start that. But when is? Um, and yeah, just really noticing how hard it is sometimes to get time for yourself. And I think that that's shown me how important it is for creating things that are accessible. You know, tapping for me is the most accessible form of self-help I've ever found. Obviously, it goes so much deeper, and it can be so much more transformative when, you're being held in a space with somebody else and working specifically on something. But just as a thing of self-care, it is so beneficial for me. But there are days when I cannot be bothered to raise my hand to my face and tap. Like, that is the truth. Um, and in those days, I guess I've been learning the power of just accepting what is, and being able to kind of move away from defining myself or my life in the all or nothings. Um, and just finding little pockets of rest in between all the craziness, because I am quite busy, I've realized. Begrudgingly realized it. I think I thought I could do it all, but, you know, training, running a business, running a podcast, trying to create content, helping with a training in Australia. Like, there has been so much going on behind the scenes. And I think the way the world is now, if you don't show up and talk about it all the time, then it feels like you're not doing anything at all. And I've only just talked about my work there. I'm not even talking about personal stuff and the madness that is life. Um, so yeah, let this be all of our permission slips to allow ourselves just to be and not to have to do anything. Obviously, I hope that you're happy to hear my voice back on the sound waves. And I am really, really excited for the episodes that are coming up. I will be doing some solo episodes as well, but I am purely recording this as a way just to get back in and get into season two because the conversations that I've had have brought me so much joy. Some of them are quite old now because I mean, I'm recording this at the beginning of March. Um, and I think one of the podcast conversations was done in like December. So it's been a while. But it was all good, and you just got to trust the timing sometimes. And now feels like the time. Um, so yeah, that is my update. That is me. A little insight into what's been going on. Um, I would love if you listen for you to pop me a message so that I know that I am not just speaking into the void. That's always the fear, I think. Unless you have a big podcast like, Diary of a CEO or something that you can legitimately see. Oh yeah, there are people like getting involved or sending in, you know, questions and things like that. There are podcasts that obviously build themselves on that. But if you're not one of those podcasts, if you are more of a conversational podcast, it does sometimes feel like I'm just talking into the void. Um, and wondering if it's all worth it. Um, but I'm here and I'm showing up. Even in this imperfect action, I'm doing it. And yeah, I can't wait to share these episodes with you and these echoes with you because they're some of my favorite conversations. So yeah, roll on season two.